Of Saint, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our main followers of LNTV Liberia Live and ELBC 99.9 FM. I am Siame Kone and I'm reporting from the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. So today is Thursday, October 2nd, 2025, and today is MICAT regular press briefing. So today press briefing here at MICAT will jointly be addressed by Honorable Daniel Otesano, the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, MICAT, and Honorable F. Sando Belleh II, Acting Deputy Minister for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Honorable Sando will provide updates on national development initiatives being implemented by the government of Liberia, with emphasis on how ongoing projects are designed to improve the well-being of citizens across the country. Honorable Belleh will highlight several ongoing and new youth empowerment programs aimed at ensuring the full participation of youth development in national development. These include, but are not limited to, the following: the Roadside Bushing Project, engaging 700 youth in Bomi County, Lofa County, Grangide, Mangibi, and Babul County, respectively. The recruitment of 150 total to assess 20,012 graders in unsafe counties, focusing on key WAS subjects. 300 Youth League, Micro Enterprises in Mosorado, Grand Basso, Grangile, Lofa, and Bon counties. The special presidential back to school initiatives, which will provide school fees, uniform, and education materials for vulnerable students, among others, will be followed by questions and answers. So to follow, please tune to ELBC 99.9 FM, www.elbcradio.com, Prime FM 105.5, Apple Online Television in Grand Basso County, Liberia Public Radio in USA, and KMTV. You can also join the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism Facebook page live on various community radio stations. So for those of you just joining, I'd like to say welcome. Thanks for joining this live broadcast. I'm broadcasting to you live at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. Today's MICAT regular press briefing. Today is Thursday, October 2nd. Today's MICAT regular press briefing. So stick and stay with us. Don't you go away to bring you full coverage of MICAT press briefing. Keep following. So if you are just joining, I'd like to say welcome. Thanks for joining this live broadcast. I'm broadcasting to you live at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. So today is Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. Today's MICAT regular press briefing. So arriving and sitting of journalists was done by 11:30 a.m. Arrival and sitting of guests will be done at 12. So today MICAT press briefing will be addressed by Honorable Daniel Otesano, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, MICAT, and Honorable F. Sando Belleh II, Acting Deputy Minister for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Honorable Sando is expected to provide updates on national development initiatives being implemented by the government of Liberia, with emphasis on how ongoing projects are designed to improve the well-being of citizens across the country. Honorable Belleh will highlight several ongoing and new youth empowerment programs aimed at ensuring the full participation of young people in national development. These include the roadside bushing project, engaging 700 youth in Bomi County, Lofa County, Grangeda County, Mangibi, and Babolo County. The recruitment of 150 total to assist 20,000 12th graders in unsafe counties, focus on key WAS subjects. 300 youth lead micro enterprises in Motorado, Grand Bassa, Grand Gila, Lofa, and Bon County. The special presidential back to school initiatives, which will provide school fees, uniforms, and educational materials for valuable students, among others. So once again, stick and stay with us. Don't you go away. I have to bring you full coverage of MICAT regular press briefing. So if I just joined, I'd like to say welcome. This is LBC 99.9 FM and LNTV Liberia Live. I'm broadcasting to you live at the Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs and Tourism. So the National Youth Development Programs. So the government officially launches a renewed national service program expected to empower over 5,000 youth annually. The program comprises multiple components, including service placement, vacation, training, mentorship, and community development engagement. So the Ministry of Youth and Sports, with support from the UNDP, has reintroduced the campaign program. About US $1 million was allotted in 2025 for it. In 2025, the program targeted 150 participants upon from earlier cohort, offering short-term employment, internship, and support. The program emphasizes inclusive women and persons with disability. So if I just joined you, I'd like to say welcome. This is LNTV Liberia Live and ELBC 99.9 FM. I am Asiame Kone and I'm broadcasting to you live at the Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs and Tourism.
I'm not saying that you're talking about no. I really remove it. Yeah, I want to keep it.
Itu la fita di boccia le tagli di tenaio. Itu la fita di boccia di eti. Yeah, la di tenaio pun tu va. Vision TV. Fala yo me ma
So once again, this is LNTV Liberia Live on ELBC 99.9 FM, and I'm broadcasting to you live at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. So today MICAT press briefing will be addressed by Honorable Daniel Otesano, the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, and Honorable Afonso Wabella II, acting Deputy Minister for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Honorable Sando will provide updates on national development initiatives being implemented by the government of Liberia, with emphasis on her ongoing projects are designed to improve the well-being of citizens across the country. While Honorable Belleh will highlight serious ongoing, so that's the arrival of Honorable Daniel Otesano, the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs here at MICAT, and Honorable Afonso Wabella II, the acting Deputy Minister for Youth and Sports for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So stick and stay with us. Don't you go away as I bring you full coverage of MICAT regular press briefing. Honorable Afonso Belleh will highlight serious ongoing and new development employment programs aimed at ensuring the full participation of young people in national development. These include but are not limited to the following: the roadside bushing project, engaging 700 youth in Bomi County, Lofa County, Grangida County, Mangibi and Babulu County, respectively, and the recruitment of 150 tutors to assist 20,000 12th graders in unserved country, focusing on key wise subjects. 300 Youth League micro enterprises in Mosrado, Grand Basso County, Grangida County, Lofa County, and Bon County. The special presidential back-to-school initiatives, which will provide school fees, uniforms, and education material for vulnerable students, among others. So, if you are just joining, I'd like to say welcome. Thanks for joining this live broadcast. Stay connected or don't you go away as I bring you full coverage of MICAT regular press briefing. Keep following.
Thank you, colleagues of the media, our radio listeners, television viewers, Facebook followers, our esteemed guests. I'd like to welcome you to the Charles William Press Hall brief coverage. It's not high located before to honor this administration, headed by Honorable Mapia. There is renovation ongoing. So every time you come in the ministry, you will see strange things happening in the positive. We want to thank those computer radio stations that joined us. From FM also relaying the press conference as a brief at home. Today, press briefing will be presided over by the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, the Deputy Spokesperson of the government, Honorable Daniel Sando. Honorable Sando is in the hall along with the Acting Information Minister, Deputy Minister for Administration, Acting Information Minister, Honorable Daniel Sando, Honorable Johnny Kappa. Today our guest is Honorable Sando Belleh. The second is the acting deputy minister for youth development and the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Mr. Belleh will highlight several ongoing and new youth empowerment programs aimed at ensuring the full participation of young people in the national development. These include, but not limited to, the following: the Rosa Brushing Project engaging 700 youth. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. That will bring 700 youth within Bomi and other counties. So when he comes from the national podium, he will give you details of his talking point. But before he comes, the presiding officer for today's press briefing, Mr. Sando, will come and explain to you what the government is doing, what the government has achieved, both local and international. Mr. Sando.
So that was the voice of the acting assistant minister for information services at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Lawrence and Family. This is Honorable Dana Otesano, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs at MICAT. Keep following.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So we have got against people supposed to It's a good thing to be back here. And today is Thursday, the second day of October 2025. We are moving gradually at the close of what has become a very eventful year for the Republic of Liberia. 2025 has become a very eventful year as we proceed along the way. Very positive sign of progress, and a trend of events simply suggests that the next year, 2026, will be far better than what 2025 has proven to be. That is to say, we're going to experience more progress in terms of infrastructure development. You already know the plans that have been hatched by the Ministry of Public Works to embark on an auto-course like road construction initiative across the country. And so we are happy to be back here today, starting a new month of October with optimism and the energy, giving God thanks and appreciation for the gift of life, to be healthy, and to have the energy, the fortitude, the courage to be behind this microphone speaking to the nation on behalf of the government of Liberia. I'd like to start by giving due recognition to the IT Minister, Honorable Johnny Kappa. He's here steering the affairs of the ministry in close consultation with Mr. Jeremy Pierre, who's also out there making representation on behalf of the ministry. Other members of the senior management team here, I want to welcome you to this edition of the MICAT regular press briefing. I want to welcome all of our compatriots in radio land, those who are following via the social media feet, all of you, I want to welcome you to the MICAT regular press briefing. We have a very young and energetic guest today, Sando Belleh, the acting minister for youth development. He's new on the job, but sometimes people have the tendency to hit the ground running, because when you know what you are doing, you can hit the ground running because the plans, the ideas are already in the making before you assume that role. So I think he took office formally last week, right? Today he's here to lay out what the government of Liberia is doing as far as youth development is concerned, and some of the short-term intervention that the government will make. He's here to enumerate on those. He will also take questions from you. He's not new to the media. He's very combative, but I'm sure he comes today to speak on policy issues. So we'll keep it that way. That being said, we have been authorized to speak on few issues, development news, and to provide clarity on certain issues as well. We're following development from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and they have announced that the International Monetary Fund, the Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund, that is the IMF, has approved the United States $26.5 million in special drawing rights for Liberia. The IMF Executive Board decision followed the completion of the Article 4 consultation and successful second review of Liberia's Extended Credit Facility Agreement. The Executive Board of the IMF on Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, made a decision immediately disbursing the $26.5 million, or about $19.3 million, in special drawing rights (SDR) to Liberia. The IMF board decision followed the completion of the Article 4 consultation and second review of the Extended Credit Facility Arrangement for the country. The Extended Credit Facility Agreement is a 40-month program approved by the IMF board on September 25, 2024. Disbursement on the ECF program was needed to bolster the Central Bank of Liberia's reserve to help maintain overall macroeconomic stability. The latest disbursement brings total disbursement thus far on the Extended Credit Facility Arrangement to US $79.4 million, or SDR 57.9 million. Following the board decision, the IMF said the decision was based on the following positive steps taken by the government of Liberia so far. They note that the government has made notable progress in implementing sound macroeconomic policy and key structural reforms in the first year of the fund-supported program. The government also taking measures to reduce large fiscal deficits, mitigate debt vulnerabilities, and strengthen foreign exchange reserves have all yielded encouraging results according to the IMF. It goes on to say the government's swift policy responses to the sudden termination. The government's swift policy responses to the sudden termination of large grant support through rationalizing low priority spending and mobilizing additional domestic revenue have also safeguarded critical social programs previously financed by
usage. They also noted that the government is maintaining a prudent fiscal stance, particularly in light of reduced foreign aid. The government's forward-looking fiscal strategy intended to further increase tax revenue to meet social and development needs, rebuilding fiscal space, and mitigating debt vulnerability. Government ongoing fiscal reform, notably through improving the quality of public spending and strengthening public financial investment management. The Ministry of Finance notes that the performance on the Extended Credit Facility Agreement puts Liberia firmly back on track to positively benefit from the second additional support in 2026 under the IMF Resilience Sustainability Facility, the RSF, which provides funding to qualifying countries to improve their resilience and adaptation to climate-related vulnerabilities. Mr. Gafwan restated the government's commitment to remaining on track and taking the necessary measures to expand the economy and mobilize the required resources to support the achievement of the ambiguous targets set on the REST agenda for inclusive development. We have to clarify before we move forward that the Liberia National Police has founded an individual who is accused of committing the crime of rape. And as usual, we see people jumping to conclusions that what become of the other men who are accused of rape. We haven't arrested him yet. Is it because he was deputy minister when he committed a crime and everything? So we have reached out to the LMP. We have to say this thing before people try to misinterpret the position and action of the government with the goal of buying the public sentiment. So they said to us that the public should understand that the facts and circumstances in all the cases cannot be the same. In some cases, a suspect can be immediately placed at the scene of the crime, meaning the evidence is available right away. In other cases, a suspect cannot be immediately linked to the crime scene, and therefore it will require further investigation, especially when the suspect raises a defense or an alibi as a defense. In the two cases that were covering the witnessing, one suspect was arrested in a room with the victim, while in the other case, it is based solely on an allegation made after the commission of the alleged act. In our case, the suspect is claiming that he was not present on the date as stated by the victim. The key point we want to make is that in the two cases here, the facts and circumstances are not the same. The police reiterate that there is no special treatment given to anyone. I mean, they treat everybody equally. In one case, the evidence was immediately available because the suspect was caught in the room with the victim. So no question about that. In our case, it's necessary to conduct further investigation to establish what the law people call probable cause. So there's no preferential treatment. The police people have no interest in who the accused in the two cases are. The only interest is to investigate and when probable cause is established, the carry to court. So I thought that was a very clear information that the public needs to hear from the government, because we know how things can happen in our country. Go on Facebook now, we flooded with news. Oh, they arrested one person, they lead another person because the person is leading the government. In fact, that is the reason why the president didn't delay in taking the administrative decision I took. Some people were claiming that all the men are deputy ministers, so he got some immunity, they treated him with preferential treatment, this and that. The president suspended him. And if you're ever doubtful that he will all come back, they may be replacing him immediately. So we'll have a new acting deputy minister, and the reason why he acting because the legislature on break. When they return, here you go, congregation. The Ministry of Agriculture has announced the conclusion of a 3-day assessment mission with a group called with the mainland group of companies from China. Mainland group of companies from China. Making progress in preparation for the group's planned $100 million USD investment in Liberia's agricultural sector. Mainland Group, we have to add, already operates in several agro-industrial facilities across Africa, including 5 factories in Cote d'Ivoire, with an annual rubber production of 450,000 tons, and similar ventures in Tanzania, Malawi, Uganda, Zambia, and Mozambique. The group entry into Liberia will bring valuable expertise to drive agro-industrialization, create jobs, expand markets, and strengthen national food security. This investment represents a major step forward in achieving the Liberia Feed Yourself agenda. With modern processing plants, better storage facility, and improved trade infrastructure, we are certain that Liberia is now on the path of enhancing food security and building a sustainable, self-reliant agricultural sector. The mainland group delegation this week to our former district, Bond County, where land has been secured for a modern rice processing factory, and we are in Maghibie County, where several hectares of land have been allocated for the establishment of a cassava starch processing plant. The investment package was first announced in August 2025 by Mainland Group's Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Zhu Qin, during a working visit to Liberia. It includes the construction of rice and cassava processing plants, the development of a sugar refinery supported by sugarcane plantations, the building of warehouses and logistics hubs near ports, and the expansion of shipping facilities to strengthen agricultural trade. These projects are expected to raise farmers' income by 20 to 30%, direct benefit more than 150,000 farmers within 5 years, to create thousands of jobs and reduce Liberia's reliance on imported food staples. Again, we go. When the president went to China last year, But people ask people, what did the president bring back? Everything that was announced, nothing has happened. And as a government, we said that we'll go to these international conferences or meetings. Commitments are made. There has to be follow-up, regular follow-ups. And with the commitment of these international friends to come here and invest in Liberia, it is coming or becoming a reality by day. 100 million USD investment in the agriculture sector. Create thousands of jobs. Increase farmer incomes from 20 to 30%. Benefit more than 150,000 farmers across the country. This is a massive boost for the agriculture sector. So, to the doubting Thomases who have been asking, you can have an answer now. And there are more foreign companies that will come to Liberia. They will come. It is only a matter of time. So the president has returned to the country. He was received at the airport upon arrival by an array of officials of government and citizens. Well-wishers went there to welcome the president. He was received at the airport, went to the church in Marigiri, and we gave God the thanks for the safe arrival of our president. To fly these days, there are a lot of things involved. So when the leader of the country travels and returns safely, we can't help but to give praises to God, for whom all blessing flows. So, but following the diaspora conference, there are plans to still remain engaged with our compatriots who are in the diaspora. And diaspora in this context is not just about America. Liberians who reside in other parts of the world, Canada, Australia, Europe, you just name it. So the government of Liberia, following the conclusion of the 3-day Diaspora Engagement Conference, which was held in Washington, D.C., is pleased to announce the holding of the year of return of Liberian diaspora in December of this year. During the event in December, several African Americans and Liberians from other parts of the world will be granted. During the event in December of this year, Liberians from all around the world were assembled here. And several African Americans will be granted Liberian citizenship. The government, headed by His Excellency President Boyka, has committed itself to actively engaging with the Liberian diaspora to remain involved in Liberia's development drive. Thousands of Liberians participated in a 3-day dialogue, both in person and virtually. The conference, the first of its kind for Liberians in the diaspora, was envisioned by President Joseph Boyka, who committed to engage Liberians everywhere in furtherance of his government's agenda of national unity and development. During his State of the Nation address in January this year, President Boyka pledged that his government will engage the Liberians in the diaspora and encourage them to invest in the development of the country and participate in its social and economic renaissance. Liberia is also to host West African health organizations from across West Africa. The government through the Ministry of Health will host a 3-day West African Health Organization regional conference in Monrovia, and it started yesterday, October 1st. The conference, involving 2 ECOWAS member states is meant to review health cooperation and strengthen collaboration on emergency response. It will also review current health initiatives, evaluate ongoing programs and their effectiveness across ECOWAS countries, and address barriers such as funding, infrastructure, communication challenges, among others. Participating countries include Liberia, Sando Belleh, Nigeria, Senegal, Ghana, Togo, the Gambia, Cote d'Ivoire, and Cabo Verde. At the conclusion of the conference, participants are expected to develop practical strategies to enhance collective health security across the ECOWAS region. There are some who are insinuating that the government is targeting private business people or is muscling petroleum importers. We wish to clarify that that information is untrue, and the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company, the LPRC, has strongly denied allegations of targeting petroleum importers, including Schmidt Oil and Gas, amid ongoing regulatory enforcement actions. The LPRC notes that it is strictly out of its regulatory enforcement function within the scope of the LPRC responsibility to regulate the petroleum sector to ensure order, transparency, and compliance with Liberian laws. The LPRC confirmed that the Shimek terminal was temporarily closed but reopened simply after the company agreed to comply with LPRC monitoring protocols. Not only Shimek, but also Connex was affected. By the temporary closure, Connex quickly complied and was reopened after its assurances to always comply with the LPRC inspectors. It is a right of the LPRC to monitor the inflows and outflows of products. It is about ensuring that everyone in the sector is in compliance. So, just about the PL celebrated its 61st anniversary. PL celebrated its 61st anniversary, and as a government, we have been very cooperative with the President of Liberia, even during the period of the crisis that affected, the leadership crisis that affected the union for close to 2 years. And so PR, the team with the ministry worked with them, making sure that the elections that were held, bringing in new leadership, everything was been very cooperative. On the eve of the anniversary, we unveiled this platform to the PL. The president was there. He made a few remarks. And everybody would assume that the relationship between the government and the PL is cordial. But when the PL president gave the address at the event, he made some erroneous claims. Some claims that are unfounded, baseless, and distorted. I will not go on to reiterate what he said, but I will reaffirm the position of the government on press freedom, freedom of the press, and civil liberty. As a government, we have consistently ensured that the free space is created for all media entities. Even those who do not agree with the government, even those who hold strong opinion about the actions of the government, we have opened our doors to them. There has been no instance where the government has sanctioned arbitrary action against any media entity. This will say an individual or a reporter. Beyond that, the government, through the Ministry of Information, has never held back in granting permits to new media entities. No, we've never. Minister Pierre is not here, but when I came here as Deputy Minister for Technical Services, every day there were dossiers or files left on my desks from MICAT, including requests for opening new media entities. Those requests will be processed, forwarded to the Minister as is required by our internal policy. The Minister will sign those permits and issue them out to individuals, the applicants. Nobody has attempted to stifle the press. The government has never. So for the press union leader to have made those outrageous and alleged allegations against the government, I think he went too far. I can understand that he comes to the job with a lot of exuberance, but sometimes it's just good to take it easy. Because by making these claims, you're not hurting the image of the country. You are not just hurting the image of the country. You are giving the international observer the belief that all is not well for press freedom in Liberia, which is not the case. Which is not the case. This is the 1900 administration. Can you enumerate any instance of violence against journalists that are sponsored by the government, as opposed to town parts where government will go and shut down radio stations, seize transmitter, seize equipment, and carry to the police, say they're supposed to seize them? None of those instances have ever happened under the White House leadership of President Buhari. So I want to be seen as working in our various capacities. We have to see the truth. Let's be able to see the truth. You have radio stations here that you journalists bear testament of how negatively outspoken they are against the government. Nobody goes to shut them down. As a ministry, we open our doors to everybody. The last time we had media roundtable for the president and the media folks, we didn't pick and choose who to go there. The entire media landscape in Liberia, except for community radio stations, we couldn't invite them because of the time of the engagement. But we still have plans to bring everybody together at different levels. So when the statement made by the PDL president was brought to our attention, we were taken aback. So we should say that the PDL can rest assured that the government of Liberia remains open to working with every Liberian journalist, every PDL organization, to foster press freedom and to protect the rights of journalists. As a leader of the PUL, we expect the president to be able to kind of identify areas where the PUL is lagging behind. We have said as a government that we're not going to get involved with content regulation and moderation. That is the role of the PUL. But has the PUL been able to regulate or self-regulate? They have not been able to. All the people who say all the things on the radio station, the hate messages, the fake news, disinformation, the hate speech, it should be the function of the PUL to guide the content that is being published by their members. They have not been able to do that. And so in the absence of that, for the PUL president to be trying to scapegoat the government, I think it is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. I'm a friend of the media. Minister Pierre is a friend of the media. And we do not intend to enter a war with the press. The president has to be mindful as to how he sees these things. Just lastly, before I invite Mr. Belleh to the podium, the government is working to attracting more foreign investment, foreign direct investment to the country. So Alas, Toronto Petroleum, and Total Engines, we already know, have secured 8 offshore exploration blocks in Liberia. This move marks Liberia's first major oil exploration agreement in over a decade. Alas, Toronto currently operates in 22 countries, including Equatorial Guinea, Senegal, South Sudan, Uganda, Sao Tome and Principe, and Zambia. Total Engine, of course, you already know, is a global super major oil company. And we are happy to have them come to Liberia. How does Liberia get? Liberia is expected to benefit a total of 27 million in signature bonus from this agreement. Why this is welcoming? Liberia's current priority for the oil sector is to bring in qualified, competent, and responsible oil companies to help Liberia drill more exploration wells, which will increase our chances of finding oil. The agreement will go to the legislature as required for additional vetting, and public hearing will be conducted, and once ratified and signed, they will begin the preparation. This process is technical and requires time and professionalism. So we ask every Liberian to follow through with patience and optimism. Let us not be negative. Thank you.
So that was the voice of Honorable Daniel Otesano, the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs here at MICAT. This is Honorable F. Afonso Mabella II, the Acting Deputy Minister for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So we are just joining. I'd like to say welcome. This is ELBC 99.9 FM. Keep following.
Mr. Acting Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Deputy Minister Daniel Sando, the entire family of the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, members of the 4 estates, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today on behalf of Councillor Gerald Bandal, Minister of Youth and Sports, and the entire family of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, to present to the public the National Service Program, the NSP, that was launched on the 17th of September 2025. The National Service Program is a program developed by the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning through the national budget to provide services to young people. It's a 5-year project aimed to target beneficiaries at around 25,000 between 2025 and 2030. The plan has in its possession about 8 components that we will detail here for the sake of the public. The National Service Program has outlined several key objectives to achieve from 2025 to 2030, ensuring that at least 25,000 young people benefit from federal initiatives by the government. Component 1 is a roadside brushing, which engaged about 700 young people in Bombing, Lofa, Bassa, Maggie, and Baku. Component 2 is to provide tutorial services to white students. When we look at the statistics and data coming from the West African Examination Council office in Monrovia, this year report is not too favorable because of some of the failures in counties like River G, Bakulu, Lofa, Great Crew, and Maryland. So in the NSP, we decided to work with the YS office, the Ministry of Education, to provide tutorial for about 20,000 students across these counties mentioned. Besides providing tutorial, we also will provide jobs for about 150 teachers who will be recruited, trained to provide services to the WISE students for 3 months. We intend to start the project by March of 2026 because WISE is always in June. So the tutorial will be for March, April, and May. And our goal at the end of the project is to see that the results from WISE 2026 will be better as compared to 2025. Component 3 is a small-scale grants. This component is actually for the small market people who do the other side market, the co-work market, and other small scales. So we intend to deal with 300 young people in Masharado, in Bassa, Grandville, Lofa, and Ball County. Each of them will benefit at least $300 over the period of 2 months. $150 for the first month, and after evaluation, we'll give you the other $150 to be able to help those for improving their businesses. Component 4 is a cadet program. This program aims at benefiting 230 young people across 6 counties: Masharado, Ball, Nima, River G, River Cess, Grand Bassa, and Sando. And the project is for 3 months. The 3 months, each beneficiary will be benefited at least $150 per month. It means over the 3 months period, each beneficiary will have $450. But that is not our target. Our target is to ensure that we recruit, deploy young people at various institutions of government and concession. And at the end of the day, they will be mentored. Some of them will be absorbed into the workforce of the country. And that is our main target. Component 5, youth literacy. Within the Ministry of Youth and Sports, there is a department called youth literacy. In this NSP project, we intend to pilot it through Baku. And the target beneficiaries are about 100 persons. Besides the target beneficiaries who will learn phonics and arithmetic, we also going to employ about 50 persons who will provide the services to the people for the period of 6 months. So the 50 persons, They will get money in their pockets at the end of the month for the 6-month period, for the 100 persons are going to learn. And in the learning process, we're going to provide feeding, we're going to provide uniform for everybody. And at the end of the process, we're going to give them a certificate and evaluate them for another cohort. Component 6, the National Service Corps. We intend to partner with the Ministry of Commerce, the UNDP, to be able to develop a process that will mentor most of our young people. And in this project, we intend to deal with 500 persons recruited from various universities and colleges across the country for the period of 6 months. Component 7, called the Presidential Back to School Initiative. This project is squarely for Monrovia, and we intend to target about 1,000 school-going kids, provide them educational material, inclusive of book bags, copybooks, pen, pencils, eraser, scientific calculator, and etc. The schools are already identified, and this project will kick off by Monday. By Monday, we invite the media to join the team at the Ministry of Youth and Sport to do the distribution in District 2, District 5, District 6, District 8, District 10, District 11, District 12, and District 13. Component 8. This is squarely for the promotion of the arrest agenda. And we're going to work with the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism to be able to recruit young people through the community radio stations across the country to provide courage on government's project across the country. You know, you have infrastructure, it's in education, in the health sector, or the youth development program. So we work with the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism to recruit community radio stations. The media will get involved so that they can be able to provide coverage. Not only to praise the government, but to provide real information about government's projects in the counties, in the districts, so that the Liberians, home and abroad, can know exactly some of the projects that will be tailored by the Joseph Juma Boakai government. So these are the components that we're running through the National Service Program, and it's a government project program. The program, the cost for the program is a $1 billion project, and we are working with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning to be able to add more money to the project for next year, because our target is within 5 years to be able to take it up to 5,000 young people. We can do all the projects. You can bring the electricity, you can shop for morning to night, you can do the road from here to River G. When the young people are idle, they go to school, after school, nothing to do, and no money in people's pockets, the development will not be well for our people. So the Ministry of Youth and Sport and the Ministry of Finance thought it wise to show that while the projects are going on, infrastructure-wise, we need to put money in people's pockets, we need to mentor young people so they too can take the stage at the appropriate time. To the media and to the Ministry of Information family, we want to say thank you for providing us the platform to outline the programs and corporates within the National Service Program. At this point, we will take questions.
So that was the voice of Honorable F. Sando Belleh II, the acting Deputy Minister for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Please come in the queue if you have questions for Minister Sando and Minister Belleh. Please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is O'Neill Phillips. I write for the New Liberia newspaper here at MICAT. My first question goes to Acting Minister Belleh. Minister Belleh, you take over a very delicate position at the Ministry of Youth and Sport. My question is, you come to a portfolio or a position that has been dented. Your predecessor is alleged to have been involved with rape issue. Here you are taking on that position. Your position has to do with youth development. An alleged accusation is that the person being raped was a 14-year. What is your position to your predecessor And to that effect, what do you come with to that position? What is your expertise in youth development? My next question goes to Deputy Minister Sando. Minister, you talk about the oil, where the oil is what we depend on right now as Liberians. According to you, Minister, the government has received $27 million in signature bonus. Correct that? Let me go through. Government will receive
signature bonus. Will. No light.
I really only. Liberia is expected to get 27 million in signature bonus. The question is, how long will Alas Oranto operate in Liberia? Apart from the signature bonus, what is the total amount the government of Liberia will accrue? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Shoy Maria Mo from Sky and the Liberia Forest Media Watch. My question goes to Honorable Belleh. You mentioned the benefit of $300 United States dollars within the period of 2 months to business people, especially youth. What are the requirements? How will they get the money? What are the processes you have to pass through? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Bestman, and I report for Inside Liberia. Minister Belleh, with a lot of significant points being made for the young people. You made several promises, but you didn't mention one portion of the youth. That's the youth with disability. Where are we with them? Are there any programs regarding for them? Thank you.
Thank you. That's present.
Question. My name is Joseph Salif, and I report for the news newspaper, I can say, in ABC Radio. My first question goes to Minister Sando. Minister Sando, rape is rape. Under the law, an accused is presumed innocent until proven in a court of competent jurisdiction. So, like you said, one was found in the room, he's still an accuser. And the one who is being accused is still an accuser. So, this case with the Deputy Minister of Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sport, who are accused of rape. Okay, the former suspended Deputy Minister at the Ministry of Youth and Sport were accused of a rape case. We all know that rape is a non-bailable offense. Why is it that this person that was kept in the room is going to prison, and the man who is accused of it is still outside? What is the government telling us in terms of this rape law? Is there a special law that says when you're not found near the person, you can be outside to investigate, or when you are inside, they can arrest you, you go to prison?
Thank you.
And another question, my last question goes to Mr. Belleh, the acting minister. Mr. Minister, road brushing have existed for many years in Liberia, and with that, it does not have a sustainable income for young people, because people brushing road will not continue to brush road every month, right? The government, what extra you bring to the job when it comes to designing a real youth policy that will impact the young people and put money in our pocket instead of us focusing on road brushing every year?
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Prince Joey, and I report for Smart Radio. I have one question, and my question will be directed to Minister Sando. Former Minister McGill was suspended by the president because of the alleged rape. And then during your presentation, you made mention that IT Minister Belleh is only awaiting legislative confirmation. My question here is, what will become of the accused if he's not found guilty? Thank you.
So my name is James Mbala, and I report for Radio Joy Africa in Magibie County. And I have two questions for IT Minister Belleh. Our Minister, you spoke about 25,000 young person recruitment in this country. Something very good, and young people will appreciate. But in Liberia, due to the poverty, we are confused in regard to the age range of recruitment in Liberia. Someone is 45, someone is 50, and they still claim to be young persons. So what the age range you'll be picking out in your recruitment? And lastly, We agree that school has opened across the countries, and the countries in other places, students are there going to school. Without recruitment of the president, materials will be distributed in the limited of Morocco County. Will you mind telling us the next plan for other counties? Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Jackson Hali Safa. Yeah, let me just go straight to.
You work.
I work at Sam TV.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So let me just go straight to the acting minister for youth development. So I have these two questions for you, sir. The first question has to do with how will the ministry work to reduce youth unemployment and promote economic opportunities? And the second question is, what initiative will the ministry implement to address issues like youth violence, substance abuse, or mental health? Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's it for questions by reporters. Let's answers by Honorable Counsel F. Belleh II. So we are just joining our to say welcome.
The last guy from Seti. So, what? 17. Oh, 17. Sorry. So the question is, what the ministry is doing to reduce unemployment? So when you look at the structure of government private status, the Ministry of Youth and Sport is not a ministry responsible to create jobs. The ministry that is responsible to create jobs is the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. What we do at the Ministry of Youth and Sport is to mentor, to provide programs that will mentor young people, that will ensure that young people become viable to the sector, to the society. So we mentor you, we provide you the specific skills. For example, TVETs. We have TVET components with the Ministry of Youth and Sport, and we recruit you, we mentor you through some of these programs. The National Service Corps, the National Cadets Program. So it is our responsibility. It is not our responsibility to provide jobs. What we're doing are short-term jobs to be able to provide for the young people. But the real job of the country to provide jobs for everybody in the country, it is the Ministry of Commerce and Industry responsibility. Radio Joy Africa, you were asking for the age group. So we deal with youth mostly 18 to 35. But some of our programs, we include some women, we include some elderly people because of the environment. For example, the roadside brushing, we'll have to include the elderly people in the environment, in the locales that we deal with. But the age range for you that we deal with at the Ministry of Youth and Sport is 18 to 35. The Bible School project, we tailor it for Monrovia, specific communities. Then in the next year budget, we'll move out to the counties and provide to other counties. So that our project, the components are always designated per counties. Sometimes we go to the county, we do 2 components, we move to another county, we do 2 components. Per our data we got for the assessment we did before organizing the project. New news. Roadside brushing is not a sustainable thing, I agree with you. But, for example, if you drive from here to Bow side, you will see the route, the Papagida Highway, the grass. So we're trying to work, we don't want to do it like a free thing. We want to provide something for the community people to be able to clean the road. It's not sustainable, it's for a specific period. We agree with you, and the government take notice of that. The government will do its best to ensure to provide sustainable jobs for our people. It is a responsibility of the government. So we'll do that. What are some of the programs that will give young people money? The issue about money, as I said again, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, we got programs to mentor. We got programs to train young people. So once you are mentored and trained, you transition to the community through the working class, you'll be able to provide for yourself. So at the ministry, we mentor, we train, and leave you and send you to the society. The bigger environment for you yourself. For while you learn through the Ministry of Youth and Sport program, you can now exhibit that into the working class and you make money for yourself. So the ministry is not there to create jobs, but it's there to provide the skills, it's there to mentor you for the bigger society. Small scale. You're talking about the 300, what the criteria, the requirements we have requirements, and we're going to communicate the requirements to the public. We're going to look at the environment, the communities we're going to deal with, we're We're going to work with the local government officials. We're going to work with FLY, with Linshu, Liberia Business Association, to draw out a plan that we're going to use to recruit the people. We train them in financial literacy, in entrepreneurship, before we enroll them into our program and give them money. So the requirements are there. Philip, what is your position regarding the suspended deputy minister? The Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of General and Social Protection are handling the rape case. At our level, we have nothing to say in the case, but it is our responsibility as acting deputy minister for youth development to be able to mentor the young people. Since we took over, we've been meeting various youth groups to engage with them, to tell them that, look, somebody seems happy in the society. Sometimes it can be false allegations, sometimes it can be proven true, but the sanity of the ministry still remains the same, and believe in the ministry and then work together to mitigate some of the issues. What do you bring to the table in youth development? I don't like to bring myself to the public to discuss my credentials because it will have no impact to the public. What has impact to the public is the job you do. I am a trained leadership person from the Chinese Academy of Government. I've been working with various groups within the Republic. I work with Liberian Council of Churches, UDEX. I work with FLY, I work with MRU, I work with various groups in the National Student Research Council. We've been mentored over the years to provide leadership to young people. Sometimes I don't like to do it, like you brand me. But when you come to the public, your performance must be able to judge. If you go apply to your office, you ask me to bring my suitcase, I will bring my suitcase, I will put it right there, you will evaluate my suitcase, and you give me the job. But when we come to the public, our requirement as public official, our outputs, our performance should be judged on what we do. Thank you.
So that was the voice of Honorable Sando Belleh. Next is Honorable Daniel Otesano, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. Keep following.
Who asked about the acquittal? Why they accuse you acquitted? Who asked that question? Not you? So because someone is accused, the position should be vacant. All the programs the government has brought out to implement to empower young people to be portable because somebody is accused. Let me reiterate, government job, whatever, a privilege. When the president appoints you, they can post one phrase to the back of the last paragraph. The president encourages all appointed officials, right? Okay. So you're supposed to behave and carry yourself orderly. So you got a public official, just by the fact that you are joined into an allegation of rape, it's against the expectation of the president. I'm not saying you are guilty. It's against the expectation of the president. So the president, in his wisdom, acted to relieve this man of his post and appoint somebody who he believes can ably and efficiently execute the task. Right? See, Alfonso, he took office last week, he here this week. All the good things he outlined, young people benefit. I heard somebody questioning about when will you bring in meaningful program and start breaking rules? See, you can't try to say that those who live in the era of former presidents, maybe you said Tottenham, going to drive in the rural area, you see the road, you grab the wheel along the road, properly managed. But nowadays you're driving, going to Bohorsa or to Bombay County or anywhere you see the grass, overtaking the road. Who's going to clean it? So the ministry has to work with people within the communities to mobilize them to clean it. You can't deserve it. Part of our job. So I'm not too sure that positions will be vacant and waiting for him to come back. So, if he can find, if he is acquitted, it is in the wisdom of the president to renominate him somewhere else. But I do believe that the president acted in the right direction to have leaving on board because you know how our country is run. Have people talk. People say, well, the man has not been arrested because he's deputy minister. So, but, I mean, I can safely say by this time, if the president did not act wisely, the narrative would have been that the government is under investigation. Not too sure that's the case. There's no selective investigation or preferential treatment. Sometimes when I do that, then I just get discouraged. Because what the police people, what I read here from the police people, is that they conclude by saying there's no preferential treatment in either scenario. And emphasize to you, in one case, the evidence is readily available. In the other case, they need an additional investigation. How difficult can that be? Now, if you people who are journalists cannot understand what we are saying here, then there's a problem. Because I mean, those who listening via the radio station, the social media pages, they will not be able to grab the message as crystal, as clear as it should be. This man who is being followed the court today, he's being followed the court based on a charge. It is that charge that the government of Liberia, the state, will adduce evidence to support that charge. There's no preferential treatment. We have repeatedly emphasized the commitment of the government to protecting the rights of every Liberian. In a case where somebody who is a minor is abused by an adult, it is unacceptable. Nobody in this government, in this country, who is a parent, a family person, will support that act. The people in the police are all they got children. Then you know, one permanent young Liberian may went to jail for temporary bereavement daughter. I want to call him. So condemn it. But it is just important for us to suppress the sentiment a bit and allow the investigation to take place. Those who are running on social media, trying to draw the example, we don't intend to get into argument with anybody. Somebody's daughter was abused, and most you can do is not to politicize it. All of the activities are here in the country, putting plaque every day. One job killed the policeman across the bridge. You know what you're hearing? Job dragged the policeman on slave with them, also here across the bridge. You ever hear them comment on it? They will not talk. They will not say anything. Have you heard them calling for the enactment of laws to protect law enforcement officers? They want security people that are surveilling the country that ever people go there afraid of them. They don't be police people, they don't be private security, they don't be immigration officers, they don't even kill police officers, they kill DEA officers. How many of you here calling for the enactment of laws to protect law enforcement officers? Because that is how you change a country. When a particular trend has become prevalent, and you see that it poses a threat to the society, then you say, oh, we have to legislate something to protect law enforcement officers. DEA men when they get to the arrest jobs, they come outside and kill him before the police. They committed the same bad. Nobody can move, nobody can talk. They kill him. Law enforcement officer, policemen go in the street. Show me a lesson, you hit the man, pick up your body, bust it in. None of the activists talk about it. We can be selective all over the country. We can be selective. If we are activists, our advocacy must go across. Don't get one-sided. I'm sure the reason why most people are interested in it because the person who was accused was the deputy minister of government. If you are an ordinary person, we're not even going to talk about it. How many of them have reached out to the local? So, they don't know what the government is doing to protect us. All they want is to go out, pull placard, create scene to be heard. As a government, we cannot be distracted by that. When you finish, you're not an investor. You want to know the total amount of the deal. So, I see you try to struggle to get the point I made. Said the country is expected to get 27 million in signature bonus. And mean to say the country not get that money. That instrument, that production sharing contract, right? That was signed. The president will send it to the legislature. The lawmaker will look at it. The senators will look at it. When they pass it, then we'll begin progress. But to rightly answer the question, the both production sharing contracts, when signed to law, the exploration goes ahead and oil is called. I'm told it costs to bring the one with Alas Oronto is 800 million. The one with Total Engine is also 800 million investment. So those are the figures that they have sent to us. We're not manufacturing the figures. I hope I answered your question properly, because the essence of this section of the press briefing is to provide clarity on what doubt exists. If there's no doubt, then we want to call this press conference to a close. On behalf of the senior management team of the ministry, I appreciate all of you for the time and your attention to this press conference. Thank you.
So that's it for today's press briefing here at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. So today's MICAT press briefing was addressed by Honorable Daniel Otesano, Deputy Minister of Press and Public Affairs here at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism MICAT, and Honorable F. Sando Belleh II, Acting Deputy Minister for Youth Development at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Honorable Sando provided updates on national development initiatives being implemented by the government of Liberia, and he emphasized on the ongoing project on how they are designed to improve the well-being of citizens across the country. Honorable Belleh highlighted several ongoing and youth development employment programs aimed at ensuring the full participation of young people in national development. These include the Roadside Bushing Project, engaging 700 youth in Bomi County, Lofa County, Grangeda County, Mangibi and Babula County, respectively. The recruitment of 150 tutors to assist 20,000 12th graders in unsafe countries, focusing on key wide subjects. 300 youth-led micro-enterprises in Moserado, Grand Basso, Grangeda, Lofa, and Bon counties. The special presidential back-to-school initiatives, which will provide school fees, uniforms, and education materials for valuable students, among others. So once again, I would like to say thanks for following, thanks for joining this live broadcast today. Do join us Thursday for another edition of MICAT regular press briefing. Until then, bye from my end.